Shut up and sit down.
This is the Uncensored Voice. No bullshit, just real shit.
Discussing things that will stir the pot. Only here on the Uncensored Voice.
With your host, Ricky Midnight.
Hi guys, this is Ricky Midnight.
And this is Zach Mullins.
Hey Zach, I have a question. Have you noticed since September 1, have you been noticing anybody walking around with their 6-shooters and maybe staring each other down at high noon? Have you noticed any of that?
No, sir, I have not.
Well, everybody who is against guns, basically liberals, have been predicting that when we have the gun law passed here in Texas, that everyone's going to be walking around with guns and doing a quick draw. I'm going to shoot you. You haven't noticed that, though, right?
Nope. But if anybody wants to do a shootout at high noon, I'll be your huckleberry.
Well, they said this also when open carry was passed. They said that, oh my gosh, you're going to do this open carry in Texas? Everyone's going to have guns. Everyone's going to be wearing guns. Let me ask you, how many people, since we last talked about these guns being able to be anybody carrying guns without licenses now, it's because it's constitutional carry. How many people have you seen carrying guns on their hips? Besides police officers.
I mean, I haven't really seen any, not decline. What's
Open
the opposite?
carry?
What's the opposite of decline? Increase.
Increase, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
any
seen
uptick.
I haven't seen an increase of anyone noticeably carrying. I mean, I think it was a little far-fetched for them to say that, considering, a large majority of people that own guns are responsible.
And most people who own guns, I mean, I own guns, but as far as people who carry guns, right? As far as people who carry guns, I'm going to give you all guys a piece of advice. If you're going to carry a gun for self-defense, not to show off to your buddies and say, hey, I have a gun on my hip. That's stupid, and you're stupid for doing that.
Shoot to kill.
But if you're going to carry a gun for self-defense, the best way to carry a gun for self-defense is concealed. And the reason being is, if I'm carrying my gun on my hip, and I saw this all the time as a police officer, if I'm carrying my gun on a hip, most people you confront, or just talk to, just plain old talk to, their eyes tend to gravitate towards your gun. Most of the time, that's the way it works. And I saw that all the darn time as a police officer. And when you first become a police officer, you notice that even more and more. But most of the time, people's eyes just gravitate towards your gun. So if you're open carrying a gun, their eyes are going to gravitate towards their gun. Now, if you know about human behavior, most people, they have a tendency, if they're going to go for you, like say they're going to try to bum rush you, right? They're going to usually go to where their eyes are faced, right? So if I'm looking at your eyes and I'm going to do something, I'm probably going to, unless I'm really thinking about, probably going to try and hit you in the face or grab you by the face or do something, right? But if my eyes are looking down towards your gun and I'm trying to go after you, I'm going to go after your gun. That's more than likely what's going to happen. I'm not going to be looking at your gun, I'm going to punch you in the face. Looking at your gun, punch you in the face. That's not the way it works.
You go after my gun in the holster, that's A-okay with me, because that just means you're going to walk away with a broken arm.
Well, no. If somebody goes after my gun while it's in the holster, they're probably not going to walk away at all. Ever. I carry open carry when I go out to my mom's house, but it's on our property. Nobody else should be on our property. I carry open carry because it's easier to get to and it's quicker to get to.
Yeah, if you see a snake and you
exactly. If I see a snake.
If you have 22 snake shot.
So this is the reason why self-defense is just that, self-defense. I'm not going to say, hey, you're a Haitian, I'm going to shoot you. But I'm going to say, hey, get the hell out of my barn,
I'd ask them if they're hungry.
No, I'm not going to ask them if they're hungry. They're on my property. First off, they're committing a felony by trespassing because we have a lot of no trespass signs on our property. So they're committing a felony by being on our property. I'd say they're committing a felony by coming into America, but the idiot, the senile guy let them in. So they're not committing a felony by coming into America, unfortunately. But did they kick down my door to get in? Probably. I don't know if you heard the podcast I made this morning where people are actually getting their windows kicked in or doors kicked in. That costs money, right? So this is the reason why we're talking about guns and carrying of guns. I have not seen an uptick in violence from guns. Now, I was watching the news earlier, and they said that last year compared to this year, gun violence, right? Gun violence has gone up. Well, there's a couple of reasons why it's gone up, and you need to look at the whole picture. Reason why it's gone up is because we'll use California as an example, because the DA in California doesn't want to prosecute people for petty crimes, right? So since he's not prosecuting people for petty crimes, they're stealing left and right. They're going in and stealing left and right. So when a business owner, say you're a business owner, say you own a video store, right? You sell DVDs, right? Or you rent DVDs or whatever. I'm just using an example. This is dating me a little bit, right? Okay, but you sell DVDs, right? And so DVDs are easy to pop into your pocket or your purse, right? And you're tired of these people just walking in there as casually as they can get, picking up the DVDs, putting them in their pocket, and walking out because it's against the law for you to try to stop them. But you're damn tired of it. So you pull your gun on them and say, stop. They say, I don't want to stop. And so you call the police, and the police are mad at you because of gun violence thing, right? Because you're not supposed to pull a gun on somebody. Well, they're not talking about why the gun violence has gone up. And like I said, because the DA isn't prosecuting. That's why the gun violence has gone up. But there's other reasons as well.
I mean, I can cite some stuff. Let's take a trip into my big brain.
Okay.
So, have you heard of deterrence theory?
Tell me about it.
Okay, so deterrence theory is what kind of prevents people from doing crime. And then there's three main keys of deterrence theory.
Okay.
And it's certainty of punishment,
Punishment. That's one.
swiftness of punishment,
That's two.
and then severity of punishment.
Okay. That's three.
All right, and so contrary to popular belief,
Mm-hmm.
because this has been in criminology and theory for
Okay.
since like the beginning of time for
Mhm.
criminology. The severity of punishment actually is the least effective
Mm-hmm.
deterrent of crime.
Oh, I agree.
The number one thing that deters crime is certainty of punishment.
That's right.
And now you're
But I'll-
taking away the certainty of punishment.
Exactly, by doing what the DA is doing. But I'll go a step further, and you're right. You're right. Okay, when you become a police officer, they actually teach you all these things, right? But the fear of punishment is the number one thing. Now, everything he said is correct, but the fear of punishment. And I'll give you a quick example. If you're driving down the road and you're doing 107 miles an hour, and I clock you as a police officer at 107 miles an hour, let me tell you what the punishment would be. Punishment is, I could actually pull you out of your vehicle and arrest you for reckless driving, have your vehicle impounded. But before it gets impounded, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an inventory of your vehicle because I don't want to send it to the impound lot and then you later on say, hey, I had $10,000 worth of stereos in the trunk. Okay? So I'm going to do an inventory before I turn it over to the guy who's going to tow it. But if I find any illicit material or drugs or weapons inside your vehicle, you're going to be punished for it. Period. In the story. So it's the fear of that punishment that's going to keep you, because you're going to be fined for the towing, fined for the ticket, arrested. You're going to have to bail out of jail. All these things are fear on your part. So fear of punishment.
But the fear of punishment it ties directly into the certainty of
Yes,
punishment.
it does. Exactly. If you're certain that there will be a punishment. But a lot of times when DA says we're not going to punish you, there's no certainty, there's no fear.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So, and with that, the DA's office and a lot of America, that's kind of, I think, why crime is rising in certain areas versus staying pretty steady in others.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the reason why I think, and I've said it on past podcasts, the reason why I think carrying of guns is actually a really good thing is because, let's say you're thinking about doing a bad thing, and you come to Texas, and everybody in Texas and their dog, who's over 21, who's not a felon, who's not prohibited from having a gun, can potentially be carrying a gun. So you're probably a little more fearful of acting like an idiot in Texas than you would be in Colorado, right? I'm using Colorado as an example. Than you would be in Colorado, because in Texas everybody's got a damn gun, but in Colorado maybe not. So this is the fear of punishment. Punishment would be a bullet in your butt. You understand?
Yeah, and I mean it also has to do with the mental state of the offender. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you could have someone who's psychotic who has no fear and will still do whatever the hell they want to do anyway.
and I mean it doesn't have to be necessarily psychotic. It could just be antisocial behaviors and
Well,
things.
I guess that would be a mental disorder of some sort, right?
And one of the main groups that I would like to point out for that that I see. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
But he plays one on the podcast.
Well, no, I'm studying criminology and the theories and things like that. So you see like wickets of the behavioral problem as antisocial behavior, and it's not saying, oh, I don't like people, I want to be by myself. That's not what I'm talking about. With this, it's they don't necessarily have a fear for punishment. They're impulsive. There's a whole laundry list of things, but I see a lot of those similarities with the people in Antifa,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of saddening to me.
Well, I was talking to someone on Facebook the other day, and they said something or another, and you're probably believing in it too, right? Where they don't believe in corporal punishment for their children. Do you believe in corporal punishment for their children? For
Really,
your children. I said their children. Your children.
it depends.
Okay, so if you've ever done corporal punishment, then that means you believe in it. You're just tempering it, but that means you believe in it. Have you ever did any kind of corporal punishment for your children?
I mean, I have.
Okay, so then that means you believe in it.
But it depends. It's kind of situational.
Yeah, well, of course, everything is. I mean, you don't just routinely, hey, at 7 o'clock, time for your ass whooping. Of course not. But you do it when it's appropriate. So that means you believe in it in a story.
No, what I mean for that is, so for one of my children, it works like a dream.
That's what I'm saying. You believe in it.
The other one, I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
I don't do I don't do physical punishments.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to make him fight me more.
Yeah.
And with a course correction with him, it's a lot easier. Like,
Well, you do what works with the children.
Yeah.
But see, what I'm talking about here, Zach, is there are some people who absolutely doesn't matter. You said you have to tailor it to each child. You didn't say it like that, but you have to tailor it to each child. But there's some people who say no, absolutely no corporal punishment whatsoever, because I'm not going to hit my kids. Well, don't think of it as hitting your kids. Think of teaching them by physical means. Okay. This is the problem. You mentioned Antifa. Antifa is generally made up of children. When I say children, I'm talking about people under 30. All right. Okay. Antifa is generally made up of children who were not punished corporal punishment when they were younger. They were, I'm going to count to 3. If you don't stop by the time I get to 3, I'm not going to do anything but count to 3 again. Okay, that's not going to work because, and I've heard it. I've heard people count to 3 in front of their children. 1, better do what I said. 2, you really better do what I said. 3, okay, I'm going to count to 3 again. What? And it doesn't work. The child just laughs at you like you're an idiot.
okay, so
You got to whip their little ass or do something, right? Take away their iPad for a day, a week, a month. Take it away for a month. Oh, my God. I didn't have iPads when I was a kid. My mom was really mean to me. Take the damn iPad away for a month, right? That's the kind of punishment children need, or they're going to grow up to be Antifa. Say in a story. Antifa is children don't fall into this anti-fascism. They don't believe in this anti-fascism. They join Antifa because they want to do crimes whether it be vandalism or anything else, get in front of a cop and spit in his face and tell him F you, blah, blah, blah. They want to commit crimes and go unpunished, just like their mommies and daddies never punished them. So they're used to being not punished, so they want to do that and not get punished. In a story. That's what Antifa is nowadays.
With me, I'm about to test your police academy
You
knowledge.
give me a test, sir.
Because I know you guys heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Cesar Beccaria is?
No.
Okay, so he is one of the main guys with the classical criminology style.
Okay.
And what now he believed in punishment, like so the three main keys that I was talking to about deterrence theory, that's him.
Okay. Well, look, then we probably did talk about him in the academy. I don't remember the name.
But the thing about him is the punishment should just fit the crime. So
I agree.
So say someone kicked down your door,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Now, did they kick down the door and enter, or did they just kick it down and walk away?
I mean, they kicked it down, and they got caught right after they kicked it down. So what the punishment for that would be is they're gonna pay for your door, they're gonna fix your door, and they'll probably go fix other people's doors that are just off the hinges.
Community service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that specific thing. So if they were, say, to steal a gallon of milk for the store, they're going to work for that store doing all, like, as a custodian or just as a clerk there for like 3 weeks until they pay off.
3 weeks is maybe a little excessive for stealing a gallon of milk. I'd say maybe a week, 5 days.
But
That's
like
just me.
just to fit the punishment.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes in our criminal court system we go super overboard. Now, I'm not saying like murder and things like that.
I think we go the other way around. I think we go too lenient.
And it depends on what kind of cases we're talking about here.
Yeah, of course.
I see as someone who has been present in prisons, a large majority of them are in there for drug-related offenses and not necessarily trafficking, but they were busted for meth.
Yeah.
No, and they get 15 years, and then homeboy literally rapes a little girl and gets out in 5.
Yeah. No, I agree. Our system happens to be the best in the world, but it's nowhere near adequate as far as I'm concerned. Guy rapes your sister. How long should he be in jail for raping your sister? And your sister's 22 years old. We'll say she's 22 years old. No, okay. No, just tell me the truth. How long should she be in jail?
You're gonna kind of. I think you're gonna get a giggle out of this.
Okay.
I don't care how long he's in jail. Just put him in general population.
Okay.
Don't put him in as special.
But make sure everybody knows that he's a rapist. Okay, that's a different story. We're talking about crime and punishment. He's talking about let them kill him. I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with street justice. But see, that's a different story. I'm okay with that too. Let him kill him, right? Just like he's a child rapist or he's a child molester or a priest, something like that. Then yes, let him go to jail. Let everybody know what they've done. Put them in general population.
For all of you that do not know at home, child molesters, women beaters, and rapists do not fare well in prison.
I would say say not. But didn't we make a show the other day where we talked about how you can become a sex offender for just simply peeing too close to a school at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning? We made a show about that, right?
Yeah, we did. But see, the thing about it is they know. I mean, they have the.
Are you talking about the inmates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know, and they have the news, and something like that is going to be broadcast on the news.
So okay, let me ask you a question. So let's just say me, right? This hasn't happened to me, okay? But let's just say me. I pulled over, right? I'm working the night shift as a I don't know who works the night shift. A police dispatcher. I'm working the night shift, right? I'm working the night shift. I get off at 3 in the morning, okay? And I'm driving home. I'm about halfway home. I gotta go pee so bad because I've been drinking a big fountain drink. I gotta pee really, really bad. So I pull over. It's dark as can be, and I go behind a tree, where you can't see me from the road, and I take a pee. But it just so happens that that's the back lot of an elementary school. The police officer on patrol at that elementary school sees me, comes, gets me, arrests me. I get labeled as a sex offender. Okay, I'm not peeing in front of a little child, but I am peeing close to a school within 1,000 feet.
You'd have a really bad judge.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. Let's say I get convicted, and I go to prison for 18 months. Okay, so do you think that the inmates would treat me bad?
I mean, not at the same level of that. I mean, you would be kind of looked at as like a punk.
A punk, like a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's why you got popped. But
yeah. Oh, more like an embarrassing
Yeah.
thing. You're a bitch.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because you didn't do anything hard, you didn't steal anything, you didn't do.
You're not a hardened criminal.
Because I mean, they wear a lot of the inmates inside. They wear their crimes like badges of honor.
Like badges of honor. Yeah. So, but anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, how you could become a sex offender and never really be, a child molester, have a panel van, or do you want candy, little girl, that kind of thing. You can still become a sex offender.
But
so.
I wanted to tell you a joke earlier when we were talking about guns.
Okay, tell me the joke.
Why doesn't the mafia like Jehovah's Witnesses?
I don't know.
Because the mafia doesn't like any witnesses.
Ah, okay, all right. That's not funny, but I get what you're
It's
saying.
my dad joke for the day.
Yeah. Okay. Not like a third grader may have said that. I'll tell you. But yeah, I get it. So what we were talking about when we first started this is how many people have you seen walking around carrying guns? Have you seen a surge in people carrying guns? So if you have, call us at 210-233-9968 and leave me a voice message. If you leave me a voice message, I'll play it. Yeah, calls will be answered. I'll play it on a future broadcast.
Also, if you see something, say something.
Podcast.
Definitely contact your law enforcement if something seems off.
Yeah. Don't call them on me. So, hey, guys, this is Ricky Midnight.
And this is Zach Mullins.
God bless America and God bless Texas.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thanks for listening to The Uncensored Voice.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And remember, on The Uncensored Voice, we tell it like it is.
So be safe, my friends, and may God bless America.